Welcome back to today's economic news, where we dissect the stories that shape our economic landscape. I'm John, and today we're diving into a story that should not only make you angry, but make you question the very foundation of our foreign policy. We begin with the latest development. AG Pam Bondi has released footage of U.S. forces seizing a Venezuelan tanker. Now, you might think this is just another headline, but I promise you, it's a signpost on a long and winding road of economic maneuvers and international provocations that demand your attention. Before we delve into the specifics of this incident, let's frame why this matters to you. For years, the actions taken under the guise of national security have eroded the very essence of what it means to be fiscally conservative. Government overspending and foreign entanglements have become the norm, all while you, the taxpayer, foot the bill. Now, isn't it time we asked ourselves if these aggressive foreign policies serve our best interests? Or are they just an expensive way to flex military might at the expense of diplomacy and peace? Let's look at how we got here. This isn't an overnight decision. In fact, the roots trace back decades, growing more entrenched with each administration. Recall 2015 when President Obama declared a national emergency involving Venezuela, setting the stage for extensive sanctions aimed directly at their oil industry. Fast forward to the Trump administration, which doubled down on this stance, aiming to further cripple the Venezuelan economy through stringent sanctions on their state-owned oil company PDVSA. These measures purportedly target a regime seen as a threat, yet who pays for these grand strategies? The people, both Americans through taxes and Venezuelans through a devastated economy. This is not an isolated tactic. The U.S. has a history of military presence in the Caribbean. 15% of our Navy is deployed there ostensibly to enforce these sanctions. In the world of hard data, we saw the last military tanker seizure back in November 2014. Since then, U.S. efforts have extended into 22 strikes on alleged narco traffickers, resulting in 87 fatalities. Numbers like these aren't just statistics. They're lives, livelihoods, and legacies impacted by political decisions made far from the shores they affect. And what about the rhetoric? For multiple years, the oil tanker has been sanctioned by the United States due to its involvement in an illicit oil shipping network supporting foreign terrorist organizations, officials say. Yet, the narrative isn't so black and white. Opposing viewpoints argue these incidences are less about terror and more about maintaining economic dominance. The mainstream portrayal, supported by quotes like "if you threaten our nation or break the law, there is no place on land or sea where we won't find you," is a testament to an approach that favors aggression over understanding. Are these actions reflecting a secure nation or rather a trigger-happy tactic that overlooks the sovereignty of other nations? Some argue these interventions further imperialistic tendencies, neglecting the very essence of diplomacy and peace. The humanitarian crises ensuing in countries like Venezuela, suffering under these sanctions, further intensify global discord rather than promote stability. So let's connect to something deeper, something fundamentally libertarian. There are three distinct issues we need to scrutinize. Firstly, the inflationary pressures. These acts of asset seizure contribute to government spending supported by your taxes, impacting economic stability right at home. As costs rise, so does the burden on ordinary Americans who have to adjust household budgets as resources are diverted abroad. Secondly, government incompetence is unmistakably at play. With domestic issues crying for attention and intervention, resources are misallocated to international military endeavors, widening the gap between what is needed and what is provided to improve American citizens' welfare. Imagine running your household by prioritizing a neighbor's affairs, ignoring the leaky roof or worn-out carpet of your own living room. Lastly, the gradual chipping away of liberties cannot be overlooked. With each engagement that stretches U.S. presence abroad, there's a growing encroachment on personal freedoms. This expansion of oversight fosters an increasingly meddlesome state, far removed from the humble beginnings of the land of the free. In summing up, what does this tanker seizure tell us? It's a continuation of policies that prioritize control over cooperation, force over freedom. If you are tired of paying for their mistakes, supporting endless interventions that yield questionable returns, then don't just sit by. Hit subscribe, stay informed, and join the conversation to demand an approach that respects both our economic interests and those of sovereign nations. Until next time, I'm John, and this has been today's economic news.